Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing the coolest thing I have ever seen while making Smash Ultimate content. This is the top 1000 ranking for 2022. Let that sink in. 1000. That is an insane number. It is done by 1000 rank on Twitter. Please go give them a follow. This is just super cool. And there's also a bunch of cool stats. We have the best players from every major country in the world at least on the list. It's so cool. It is so cool. And a couple things I want to mention before we get in. It is all of 2022 and Smash World Tour because, this was released December, I don't know, what's today's date, 17th or whatever. And so that means that the Scuffed Invitation will be for next year's ranking, assuming that they do it. So Smash World Tour is counting for this as well. And locals with over 50 plus entrants are counted just so they could get the hidden bosses of the game. And I think when you have 1,000 entrants, that's a really sick idea just to highlight some players that are amazing that don't get showcased as much. We're going to be focusing on mainly the top 30 for this video, but there's a couple players that I've highlighted that I just want to give a quick shout out to. So on my classic proof block Google Doc, we have Tavares, Zerxel, Owl, BBS, I think that's probably not how you say it. It might be Albus. I don't know how you say that one. He's insane. He plays banjo. Yama, Hope, H4, Leaf, Naturu, Scat, Yoda Cage, Chicken, Strix, Fuzix, Nair, and John Numbers. These are all players that have either had an insane year, I think will have an insane year next year, or just have a ton of potential. A lot of these players, Scat has been PGR before. John Numbers has been one of the best players in I think New York for since I was born. Naturu has had an insane run at Colossal. H4 had a couple really good runs. And most of these people have had pretty good runs. Tavares just had an insane one at Santa Paws. But I just wanted to give shouts to all of them because I think they're incredible players. And also, you can find all of them. You can find all their stats. Look at this. When I click on the player's name, you have their records versus all these players in the top 1,000 plus unranked players that are still really good. That is just so cool. It's just so cool. This list is incredible. And then also something I want to mention before we get into the top 30, which will be our main focus, is the best players from every country. We have Leo from Mexico, Japan is Aquila, USA Light, DR is Sonics, Canada Riddles, France Gluto, England Bloom, Spain Siski, Netherlands Super Semi, Guatemala Shiny Mark, Germany Quick, Costa Rica Yay, Australia J Dizzle, Saudi Arabia Joyboy or EMAS, Chile is Keen, Scotland is Mazebeans, Switzerland is Destiny, Brazil is Ferps, Finland is Lancelot, Puerto Rico is E-King, Italy is Empori, Ecuador is Brave. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. I hope I'm at least getting it right by now because he plays Snake, and you got to give respect to every single player because that character is cool. Denmark is H4, or Denmark is H4. Denmark is Hope. Belgium is Super Striker, Austria is Sintro, and Sweden is the Schmixtape, the best name on that list by far. And that is just everything I want to mention before we get into that top 30, and let's start talking about that right now. Also, something I forgot to mention because there's just so many cool details is this volatility basically just means how confident the AI is in their placing. So this was done by an algorithm. So very low means that the AI or the algorithm is super confident that the placement is right. There's a very low chance that it got it wrong. And if it's medium high, I think Proto, for example, is medium high. It's not as confident. He could fluctuate a couple spots. This little triangle here is just how much they've improved since the last the 2021 ranking. And then the uncertainty score and the uncertainty in score. I'm pretty sure uncertainty is just how much they could be moved down or up if this was wrong, the maximum distance. And this score is just kind of obligatory, just to show the gaps between players. Between Light and Aquila, there's a 50-point gap just to show these three have been very dominant. Now we're going to only mention even the 30 players because there's too many, and then probably focus on the main 15 outside of a couple I want to talk about. But we have Luis in 30th, Ken 29th, Hiro 28th, Kurama 27th, Siski 26th, Didi 25th, American Didi, Bloom Forever in 24th, Wrath in 23rd, Zamba 22nd, Zachary 21st, Kameme 20th, Cosmos 19th, Yoshidora 18th, Proto 17th, Tweak 16th, Quid 15th, Gluto 14th, Mia 13th, Meister 12th, Cola 11th, The Buzz is 10th, Riddles 9th, T 8th, Shootone 7th, Onin 6th, Sonic's 5th, Light 4th, Aquila 3rd, and then of course the top two are Spargo and MK Leo. So out of everyone I want to talk about in the top 30, I think the main ones are going to be probably Wrath, Cosmos, and Quid. Everyone here is amazing, and if you want a specific player to be talked about, please let me know down below. Apollo Kage has a plus 775. That's how much he went up since the last season. That's a lot. Desmona is new. He is 35th. There is an insane amount of people that just blew up this year, and I just can't talk about everyone. So please let me know who you want to see talked about down below, or if you want to see some of these players talked about in more depth, please. I highly recommend because all these players are people that I would love to talk about. They are sick. And of course, a link to all this stuff will be down below because You should check this out. It is just it's so cool. But starting off with Wrath, Wrath at 23rd, I think will surprise a lot of people because this does count Smash World Tour, by the way. Like I mentioned at the start, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but it counts the Smash World Tour from 2021. He did really well at Smash World Tour. He did pretty good at MomoCon, and then he also did pretty decent at two more like decently sized locals. I think they were. I haven't pulled up here. Yeah, 404 Smash Night 96, and then this one actually I'm pretty sure does not count. So he has 3 tournaments that count, and he is still 23rd because he is just like. He's an algorithms like I don't know, nightmare might be the right word. Is he uncertain? Or is the algorithm super confidence placement? Minimal. That means minimal I think means that the algorithm is not confident at all, which is honestly like fair when you have that limited amount of placements. But this is a base placement for Wrath. Wrath is really good. Wrath is incredible. If Wrath was consistently going to majors, I probably think he'd be higher than this. Wrath is just so good. Like, he's the only person in the world right now that I think could contest Sonic for the best Sonic. Because, there's a lot of good Sonic players. Ken is still very good, but I kind of view him more as, like, a Sephiroth main now, honestly. Even though he still plays Sonic a decent amount, he probably still mainly plays Sonic, but I don't know. That's just how I have him in my head. Wrath is amazing, and I think the hidden boss factor of this ranking, with including the locals, just shows, like, it allows players like Wrath to get the chance that they wouldn't have before. Yes, this isn't official. Obviously, he's only been to one tournament this season. None of in the current season that we have, like the current ranking from like end of like Battle BC onward. He's obviously not ranked in that one. But I think it is still cool that we get to see Wrath throughout the year. Cosmos I want to talk about just because I feel like Cosmos, a lot of people would be surprised, but like Cosmos still had a pretty decent at the end of the year. Like he's still top 40 in the world, like probably at least. And he also had like a really, really strong start to the year. Like Cosmos is a very good player. He definitely deserves that 19th spot. And Quid in that 15th spot. Quid, I love Quid. Quid is so good. He plays PT. Sorry for the ad, by the way. Quid is just, he is a different breed of player. He is unreal, and I wish we got to see him at more stuff. I hope we do in 2023. I think he's still full-time in school, which is a tragedy because all that talent locked behind a book, it hurts my heart. I hope we can see Quid at more stuff because his PT is just like, his PT is just nasty. And then he isn't here so high because of, I think he's been to a couple locals as well, which helps because like there's a bunch of insane talent in New Jersey or New York, wherever he is, that are probably on this list that helps boost him, as well as his Let's Make Moves, or his Let's Make Big Moves run and his Collision run. But now, let us focus on the top 10, because again, if I talked about every player, even every top 20 player, I did a take where I talked about all the players in the top 20, and the video was 40 minutes, and I'm not going to do that to you guys, so for the last time I mention it, let me know who you guys want to see down below. And let's get on to the top 10 with Dabuz. Dabuz has just had a consistent season. Like, his highs are also pretty good. He has a second at Smash Factor. He has a second at Crown. He has a second at Low Tide, which was last year, I'm pretty sure, so that doesn't count. Scratch that. But Dabuz, he's had a very good season. And he has a lot of good wins as well. Like, he's 2-2 against Sonics. He has a good win on T there. He's 3-0 on Meister, which is really good, considering Meister is 11th, I think, or 12th. 2-0 on Myron's really good. Like, he has a lot of good wins on players. But the thing that is holding the Buzz back, and I don't think this is a surprise to anyone, is he is getting brick-walled hard. He is 0-4 against Cola, 0-5 against Leo, but, like, it's Leo. Most people are like that. He is, where's one more so I don't look dumb? 0-4 against Light. Like, there's a couple people that just beat him real bad, and one of those players was Cosmos, and then he got one. He figured it out. Dabuz is breaking the cracks in the plot armor that for some reason doesn't allow him to win. I don't know whatever God wrote that, but that God isn't very funny. Dabuz is going to get that win. He's slowly starting to beat these top players. The sets are getting closer, and I'm all here for it. The Leo one, he still does have a way to go, though, because he himself has to figure out the Joker. Like, again, a cruel fate by an unfunny God. Riddles in 9th place is, again, makes a lot of sense. Same thing with the Buzz, honestly. Just with, like, he won Big House. He has very high highs, super consistent throughout the season. He has had a little bit more rough tournaments than the Buzz because this does include his Glitch Infinite run, I'm pretty sure. I think Glitch Infinite was this year. I hope it was, or else I'm going to feel really old. So it does have that run, which was not great for him, but it also, and Double Down as well, but he also has, like, his Big House win, his Collision run, both of his Summit runs were fairly good. I guess not, he wasn't at Summit 4, but his Summit 5 run was fairly good. Like, Riddles is just, like, a player that has basically always been the top 8, and he has good wins against a lot of people. He has a win against Leo, he has a win against Spargo, he has 3 wins against Light, and the Light wins especially make me very happy, because Light was someone that I thought was going to brick wall Riddles for a long time. It was just, like, when I saw, like, Light after he lost him, I think he lost to Riddles at Collision. I saw Light lose that, and then the next set they played, Light, like, kind of whopped him, and I'm like, Riddles is not beating Light for a long time. But he figured it out. which I think it gives me so much confidence for him in the future. I think he's going to do really well at Scuff World Tour as well. Like Riddles is just like he's incredible. He deserves this placement. I have him personally higher in my latter half of the season, honestly, just because like it doesn't have that icky performance of Glitch, which like really helps. Like Riddles is incredible. T, I mean, it's I'm like a broken record here. Just a really consistent season. He is 0-3 against Leo. Like he doesn't have any of those top 3 wins, which kind of sucks. He does have a win against Sonics though, who is rated 5th this season. He is 3-4 against Shootone, which is decent. 1-0 against Riddles, 3-1 to Buzz, 1-0 against Cola. Like once it gets like here, he's starting to do like very well against people. T has won a ton of majors. Like he's won 3 majors. He's won a major in every single part of every major Smash region in the world except Mexico and Canada, because I count Canada because I see into the future. But T, he's very, very good. He's just and the co-main for him. I think the co-main is helping him a lot. I thought it wouldn't. I thought the Kazuya was a bit and it would be useless, but he uses it a ton in tournament, and it's very good. It's not just spam electrics anymore. As funny as it is to say it is, like his set at winner, he hit like 1 electric and he still won with Kazuya. He is neutral Kazuya to the extreme. He is an oxymoron. Neutral Kazuya shouldn't exist, and then T says, "Oh yeah," like it's pretty impressive. Shootone in number 7. Again, very consistent season. He won, I think Wave would be his biggest tournament win this season, which isn't as big as like, T's wins or Riddle's wins, but it is still a pretty decently sized tournament. And he also just has like a very good record against a lot of people. Even against Spargo, 4-3 against T, 1-0 against Riddles, 0-2 against Cola, unfortunately. I think that's 0-1 against Mia, but I've actually never seen Mia play. If anyone has a VOD to that or a link to that VOD, I'd like to see it because that sounds really good. I'll just look it up after actually. He's 2-0 against Gluto, 1-0 against Tweak, 2-2 against Proto, 6-1 against Kameme, I think 1-0 against Yoshidora, I'm pretty sure that is. Like Shuton's really good. He can beat basically anyone. And again, the same thing with T. I thought the Aegis wasn't going to stick around, but he has super stuck with the Aegis the entirety of the year. It's looking really strong. And now I'm like, okay, does the Olimar stick around? That's going to be something that is super interesting to see, just because like he doesn't need it, but I mean, hey, having a secondary will always help. Like all the best players in the world, even though they never really use secondaries, they like Onin, Sonic's Light don't have one, but Aquila has Kazuya, Spargo has Aegis, Leo has Aegis and Joker. They all have secondaries they can use, and even though they normally don't need them, it's always something nice to have in your back pocket, and I think Shutone would heavily benefit from having the Olimar, just on standby. 6 is Onin. Onin is pretty low. I mean, it's like I'd have him like 1 or 2 spots higher within like the latter half of the year ranking. Onin's really good. He's 1-0 against Leo. That's always nice. 1-0 or 0-1 against Spargo. 0-3 against Aquila does kind of sting, but again, Aquila's like, top 3. And then every other player that he's played multiple times, I think he's up against except Icy Mist. I know it's a Samus player. Yeah, Icy Mist has 2 thrown him, so shouts to her. And Sean. Sean and Icy Mist and Aquila, the 3 gods of Smash, the only people that can defeat Onin consistently. That's a pretty impressive stat. And then he's 1-1 against Light, 1-0 against T, 2-1 against Riddles, 2-1 against Cola, 2-1 against Meister, 4-0 against Mutes. Unlucky for Mutes. Those sets have been like very close, except one of them. But the rest of the sets have been very, very close. 6-2 against Noto. They play a lot. Like, Onin is just such an amazing player. I feel like something, I need to say this a lot. Onin gets way too much crap. I feel like people don't like realize how good Onin is. Like he adapts so well, and again he plays Steve, so people are like, oh, carried, doesn't matter. But then like I feel like Aquila is obviously better, but he definitely doesn't get that as much. Maybe it's like a bit of a Japanese bias because that's definitely a thing. You don't see them as much, so you're like maybe you're not like, oh, it's like more hype when they're here. There's more like a storyline with it. I just think Onin gets like way too much crap. He is unreal, and anything like any performance of him, like I think 6 is honestly the worst placement they could have had him at. Like no shots. Obviously, it's an algorithm. It doesn't have a bias. But Onin is amazing. Sonics in 5th. Sonics was like the Buzz and Riddles I mentioned earlier, but to an extreme. Sonics doesn't have any bad performances except I think SmashCon where he got 33rd, which he still had pretty good losses, which definitely helps. And then he has a win at CEO. And then he just gets names. He is 1-0 against Onin, 1-1 against T, 4-1 against Riddles, 2-2 Buzz, the Buzz, 1-0 Meister, 3-1 Gluto, 2-1 Tweak, 2-1 or 1-1 Kameme, 2-1 Zamba, 1-0 Wrath. I don't know when that happened. Probably Smash World Tour, but that's the only Sonic Ditto I'd ever watch. 1-0 DD, 1-0 Siski, 1-0 Mutes. Like Apollo Kage beat him though. Shouts to Apollo Kage. What a player. So it feels like he's just only losing like fairly consistently to people that are ranked above him. Does he have a losing record against people that he's played more than once? Doesn't look like it. 9-2 against MVD. I don't know how they've played so much. Yeah, so the only people that have beat him that he's played more than once are Leo and Light, which is that feels good. Sonics is insane. He is such an amazing player. I'm so hyped for him at Scuff World Tour because he's someone that I've kind of honestly I forgot about until I looked at my ranks. I'm like, oh yeah, Sonics is probably like, I don't know, top 15, maybe 20 this season. I haven't seen a ton of him. But then I looked at his numbers. He had a really good start to the season, as well as having like a really strong start to the 2022 year, which is why he is so high in here. Fifth is absolutely deserved, and he is still top 10 within this season. Like, Sonics is unreal. Now we have our big four. Light, Aquila, Spargo, Leo. I think most people have this as their top four. You can maybe shift Onan in for one of those players. I don't know who. Like, it would be Light or Spargo, depending on what you value. But they're probably still in your top four. Light being fourth here does make sense because he has that glitch run, honestly. I think that glitch run hurts him a pretty decent amount, just considering that none of these players have bad runs. Like, these players, the worst runs they have is 9th at Subigeki, which I don't even know if that was counted for this, 7th at Givitational, 9th at Summit, and Light has, like, an actual, like, not amazing performance with either 17th or 13th at Glitch, which does hurt a little bit, but also Light has some good points from, like, farming locals. I don't know, actually, Aquila does as well, probably, but Light's been to, like, does he have his record against Ling here? Has he played against Ling a lot? 6-0 in Ling, which is like, that always helps. Light is crazy. Light is so good. The only person that I feel like he's getting consistently beaten by at the top level is Spargo. Spargo just, like, after SmashCon Fall Fest, he figured Light out, I think. Not that Light can't do it. Like, we saw Shades of Hope at that main stage set, but, like, it just feels like Spargo knows exactly what's going on. He controls the tempo so well, and that's, like, the hardest thing to do against Light, is controlling the tempo because of how fast he plays. But Spargo's, like, the only player in the world that's, like, faster than Light, and I don't know how he does it. Spargo is so good, but we're not talking about Spargo yet. We're talking about Light. He is amazing, the best player in North America. I'm pretty much undisputed. Onan, again, is amazing, but I think Light does have it. He's 4-3 against Riddles, 4-0 against the Buzz, 3-2 against Cola, 2-2 Meister, 2-3 Gluto, 4-1 Tweak, and 2-2 Proto. Like, he goes even with a lot of players, and I think that is a Fox thing, but apparently Light is picking up a secondary. Now, I am typically, you should always pick up a secondary, and I still am in this situation. I think picking up a secondary for Light is good. I think depending on how good his secondary is, whether it's Fox, Sora, or like Wolf, Sora, a character that I haven't even thought of yet, I think Light with a good secondary could rise to at least number 2 in the world. I think a lot of matchups, like, he just gets screwed over by some really hard matchups for Fox. Like, namely, Steve is really tough for Fox, at least in my opinion. Meister is really good against him, even though Light does beat him on a somewhat consistent basis. Like, they kind of go back and forth. Having a secondary could help you so much. And Big D as well, because Big D is one of the only players that with a positive record on Light where they've played more than twice. Cosmos as well. Shouts to Cosmos. I think Light is insane. I think most people know he's insane. The secondary for him in 2023 is super interesting to me, though. I wonder how that's going to go. It might not even happen. Aquila in number 3. Aquila number 3 makes sense. I think this is for my entire year, for like my season ranking at like the end, the last part of the season that we have like our official ranking on. I have Aquila in like second. But for the entire year, I do agree Aquila should be third. He is really good. The only person that he's losing against that he's played more than once is Leo. I'm pretty sure, at least. Let me fact check that. Yes, he has lost multiple sets to. The only person that's taken more than 2 sets off him are Leo, or like more than 1 set off him is Leo and Yoshidora. That's crazy. Aquila is so good. He is actually unreal. He's 2-1 against Light, 3-0 Onan, dominantly, by the way. 3-1 Shootone, 1-0 against T, 4-0 against Riddles, one of the only people that can brick wall Riddles. 1-0 or 1-1 against the Buzz, 1-1 Cola, 3-0 on Mia, 2-0 on Tweak, 1-0 on Proto, 6-4 against Yoshidora. What a rivalry. Like, Aquila is just, he is insane. And he does have a secondary Kazuya and Donkey Kong. Worth mentioning, I do think he's probably going to solo main Steve. Steve is one of the only characters in the game that I'd be like, yes, you actually probably should solo main that character because you just super can, and his stuff is really hard. But Aquila is someone that I thought at the start of the year he was in contention for number 1 in the world, or he was like probably going to take number 1 in the world. It looks like now Leo does have a grip hold on that for at least a little bit, but it's not impossible that in 2023 Aquila has a pretty decent level up and manages to take that number 1 spot. Now, of course, a tale as old as time, Spargo and Leo in number 1 and 2. Spargo has the benefit of having his performances from the start of the year, as well as the benefit from having his performances at the end of the year. Because just end of the year Spargo performances, he probably gets still top 5 at least, because he's all of his performances are really, really strong. Maybe even third in some people's minds. I think Akla probably takes it over to the second place, but probably third, fourth, fifth for most people. Spargo is unreal. The only person he's losing against that he's played more than once is, I think, Leo, and the only person that he is losing records against in total is Proto, Leo, Aquila, and Mudace, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, Leo, Aquila, Proto, the gods, and Mudace, the goat. Shouts to Mudace, he's amazing. I'm sad I didn't get talked about him in this video, but time is of the essence. I've already spent a lot of your guys' time. Thank you for getting so far, by the way. We're almost done. We have Light, a 3-0 record against him, 1-0 against Sonics, 1-0 against Onin, 1-1 against Shootone, 1-0 against T, 2-1 against Riddles, 2-0 to Buzz, 2-1 Cola, 3-0 Meister, 3-3 Glutony. I'm actually surprised the Glutony record is so even. I feel like Spargo usually wins that, or at least like in my mind. But 4-3 against Tweak, honestly, same thing there. Very, very surprised. And two of those, actually, I don't know if this counts the main stage performance. I'm not 100% sure about that. I wonder if there is a way. There's not a way to check. I don't remember who. Oh, wait. Actually, there is a way to check. I'm going to check really fast. Hold on. I'm scrolling down so fast. Has Tweak played against Big D? Tweak has played against Big D. So I think that includes main stage, which means Tweak was 4-1 against Spargo before, which is insane. I also, maybe he didn't include main stage because that feels wrong. But still, he's up against Tweak. Or no, Spargo was 4-1 against Tweak. So I guess he was 2-3 against Tweak, which actually, that does make sense. Okay, I'm refocused now. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. It's just that we're getting to the end too. Yeah, Spargo he's crazy. He is a beast of this game, has potential to be best in the world. Obviously, the tried and true story, and I'm so happy to see him back. I've been seeing tweets that he's like enjoying Smash again, which is like really all you can ask for out of a player, just that they are happy doing what they love, and I just think that's super, super sick. Huge ups to Spargo. He is incredible. And of course, the GOAT is Leo. Are we surprised? No. The only person that has a winning record against him, I think, is Proto and Onin and Larry Lur. Again, it's the three horsemen of the apocalypse now. Onin, Proto Bottom, and Larry Lur. Larry Lur, the better you are as a player, the better he does. And I will die on that hill. I think most people will, honestly. Larry Lur is insane. But he is 5-2 against Spargo, 2-0 Aquila, 2-1 Light, 2-0 Sonics, 3-0 against T, 1-1 Riddles, 5-0 to Buzz, 3-0 Cola, 7-1 Meister, 6-5 Glutony. And this is, without a doubt, the worst year that MKLeo has had in Smash Ultimate. And that is how dominant he is. That is crazy. And he's also won, I think, probably 10, at least, majors. Leo is so good. He has such a grip on this game. I know I've been talking throughout the entirety of these videos, yes, this player has a chance. It's semantic. They don't really have a chance for at least, 6 or 4 months. Leo is ahead. He is so ahead. He's using Slingshot better than anybody else, which is probably just going to make him more ahead. Leo is absolutely incredible, and I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this video was a bit longer. I know it was a bit rambly, but I enjoyed it so much. This was probably my favorite video I've ever made. I tried to make it a little bit shorter because I recorded this initially. It was an hour long, and it was we can't have that. That's too much rambling. Hopefully it was cut down for this one. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If there's a top player that I left out, I almost certainly did, because, again, there's 1,000 of them, which is, I can't overemphasize how crazy that is. Please let me know down below. I'll be sure to go over them, their placements, if I think they're just, all that good stuff. And just please go, up for this on Reddit. I know it's Reddit. Give this account a follow on Twitter. This is just super cool. I hope this is the thing they do every year, because then I get to make this video every year. And that is something to definitely look forward to. And, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to sub, all that yada yada. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.